So if you're trying to decide between YouTube TV and Fubo for live sports, this breakdown is for you. I'll compare pricing, channels and RSNs, DVR and streams, picture quality in 4K. I'll also take a look at latency and the gotchas that affect your bill. Then I'll give you clear picks by fan type so you can choose in under a minute. Now, what matters in this comparison? I'm focusing on 6 things that actually change your experience. The true monthly price with add-ons, whether you get locals and your regional sports network, national sports coverage like ESPN and TNT, cloud DVR rules and simultaneous streams, picture quality and 4K support, and finally, hidden fees, blackouts, and any quirks that might break the game day. So, let's jump right in and take a look at the pricing snapshot. So, the sticker prices move, but the pattern is consistent. Both services have a base plan, then optional sports and 4K add-ons that can push the total up. With YouTube TV, often looks simpler upfront. Fubo can feel rich for sports, but the add-on math matters. The free trials and seasonal promos change regularly as well. So it's smart to start the week with your season starts instead of paying it in the off-season. That makes sense. Also remember, regional taxes can vary by zip code. And here's the takeaway. Don't just look at the base price. Look at the exact bundle you'll need to watch your teams. Next is the channels and sports coverage. Now, before anything else, confirm 2 things for your zip code. Locals, ABC, CBS, Fox, NBC, and your RSN. Now, if your RSN isn't carried, that's a deal breaker for in-market games, no matter how good the rest of the lineup is. Now, for national coverage, you want ESPN and TNT TBS for playoffs, and FS1 for a lot of baseball and soccer. Now, league networks vary and may require add-ons. But what if you're out of the market, right? Well, consider league passes for the sport you follow and pair that with a live TV plan that covers national games and playoffs. Next, let's take a look at the cloud DVR and simultaneous streams. Now, DVR is where daily life gets easier or harder. Look at how many hours you get, how long recordings keep, whether the DVR is truly unlimited or time limited, and how many streams your household needs at once. For families or roommates, 3 or more simultaneous streams plus strong DVR capacity and profiles will matter more than one extra niche channel. Next, how about picture quality in 4K? Now, most live sports streams at 60 frames per second in either 720p or 1080p, depending on the channel and your device chain. The true 4K live games are still limited and usually locked behind a paid add-on and specific supported devices. Honestly, a clean 1080p 60 Hz signal with your device set to 60 Hz and light TV processing looks great for sports. Only pay for 4K during months you'll actually watch the events that stream in 4K. Next, let's take a look at the latency and live sports. Well, if you expect streaming to be tens of seconds behind cable or satellite, and if you like to live, tweet, or bet in real time, every second counts, right? Well, Ethernet beats Wi-Fi for stability. If you must use Wi-Fi, prefer 5 GHz and keep the streamer close to the router. Some devices have a low latency mode. Try it and see if it's stable on your connection. Next, take a look at hidden fees and gotchas. Well, 2 quick warnings. Sports and 4K add-ons can quietly raise the bill more than you expect. And blackouts still apply for in-market games. Also, lineup and availability changes. That's why I recommend checking channels for your zip rather or right before you subscribe and only during the months you'll watch the most. Let's take a look at decision tree, how to pick in 60 seconds, like I mentioned earlier, under 1 minute. Well, the first question, do you need your local RSN for your team? If the answer is yes, pick the service that actually carries that RSN in your zip. That's the end of story. If no, RSN, do you need locals for NFL and network sports? If the answer is yes, choose the one that has ABC, CBS, Fox, and ABC in your zip code. If you don't need locals, compare national sports coverage and DVR limits and pick the cheaper plan that still hits ESPN, TNT, or TBS, and FS1. If many people watch at once, by the way, make sure the simultaneous streams fit your household or plan to add the multi-stream upgrade. If 4K matters to you, only pay during months, like I mentioned earlier, with 4K events you care about and confirm your device supports it. All right, so let's talk about recommendations by fan type. Now, if you're an all-round sports fan who watches your local team plus national games, definitely choose a service that covers your RSN and includes ESPN and TNT in your zip code. If you follow international leagues or niche sports, compare Fubo's lineup carefully. This is where it often shines. But check your exact league before buying. If you're mainly a playoffs viewer, prioritize ESPN, TNT, and your locals. Supplement with league passes for out-of-market games. Now, for family DVR power users, pick the plan with stronger DVR capacity, profile support, and enough simultaneous streams that daily quality of life will matter more than one extra channel. All right, let's also talk about, as a bonus, device choice matters more than you actually think. Now, if you want the smoothest sports experience, the playback device can make or break it. So prioritize consistent 60-frame playback and a clean HDMI chain. On Roku and Google or Android TV devices, lock the output to 60 Hz and avoid forced HDR for live sports unless the broadcast is actually HDR. Standard dynamic range, of course, often looks cleaner for fast motion. Now, if you're on Fire TV, use the Match Original Frame Rate options where available and keep background apps trimmed so memory isn't tight during big games. And Apple TV handles motion well, but make sure the match frame rate and the match dynamic range are set correctly. Otherwise, it may output everything in HDR, which can add processing. Now, whichever box you use, test one Ethernet run if possible. If not, stick to 5 GHz Wi-Fi and keep the streamer within a room or two of the router. Now, a certified, by the way, HDMI cable is important, and disabling heavy motion smoothing on the TV will usually fix the last bit of blur or stutter. Now, the smart account strategy to lower the bill. Treat these services like month-to-month utilities, not long-term contracts. Start your subscriptions the week your season begins, then pause when it ends. Now, if you only need national games and playoffs, keep the live TV plan for those months and lean on League Pass replays or highlights off-season. With families, set up separate profiles and guardrails so the DVR doesn't fill with duplicate recordings. Prioritize new episodes only for long-running shows and auto-extend recordings for live sports to catch overtimes. And if you're chasing 4K, only add the 4K package during months with confirmed 4K games on your device. Otherwise, the 1080p at 60 is perfectly fine. And finally, if locals inflate the price in your zip code, combine a one-time cost antenna for ABC, CBS, Fox, NBC with a lighter streaming plan. That hybrid setup often delivers the same game coverage at a noticeably lower yearly cost. So, what's the bottom line? Here's the wrap up. Availability decides the winner. Enter your zip code on both websites, whether it's YouTube TV or Fubo, and verify locals, RSNs, and any required add-on before you pay. If you are seasonal, subscribe only during the months you watch and then pause. In the description, I've linked the official checkers and my TV settings video so you can lock in smooth 60 frames per second. And in the comments, tell me your zip code, the teams or leagues you must watch or you watch the most, and how many screens you need. I'll suggest the most cost-effective setup for your situation. I hope this helps. Let me know if you have any questions. Comment down below and make sure you give it a thumbs up if you find this content valuable. And of course, subscribe and hit the bell notification so you get updated with the latest tech videos. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.